Oh, surprise. I'm here on New Year's Eve. If you're watching live, if you are listening to this later on, boy, I got a great guest joining me right now. Very excited to welcome to the show for the first time. We've just met retired Brigadier General Shawn Harris, who is running for Congress in Georgia. Georgia's 14th, the fighting 14th.
Yeah.
And it's currently a seat held by Marjorie Taylor Greene. 47,000 Republicans are running for that seat. He is the only Democrat running for that seat. The primary date is still up in the air because she hasn't sent her letter in saying that she's retiring, but he's been running for a long time before she announced her retirement. Shawn, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm really excited to get to know you.
Hey, Pete, I'm so excited to be on your show. You do an outstanding job, and I'm looking forward to our conversation.
I just saw you on my friend. You joined my friend Glenn Kirshner, who has a massive audience. I hope that did good things for you. It'll do a lot more for you to be on his show than me, but you'll have more fun with me than Glenn. I just want to make that clear.
You know, I'm just excited to be on anybody's show because it's about just getting the word out about the special election and making sure that we can bring in help because it's going to take all of us to flip this seat. And I'm just excited that we're going to be doing it here in March.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about exactly about that. But I got to, whenever I'm interviewing people, I'm happy to promote and to plug and raise money and ShawnForGeorgia.com. I'll put it on the ticker in a moment here and everything. But I love the part about my job that I really enjoy is getting to know new people. I love it. We just met 30 seconds before. I've done a good bit of research on you, but I want to learn. I want to get to know you a lot more here at the beginning. And I got to just ask, first of all, like, you were a general in the Army. You were a Marine first, and then you went to the Army and spent most of your career there, a long time, as a matter of fact. But like, first, when and why did you join the military? How old were you? Right out of high school?
Straight out of high school, walked out of high school, went the very next day and joined the United States Marine Corps. Did the Paris Island route. Loved the day of it. Got out, went into ROTC at Tuskegee University, became a second lieutenant, and just kind of followed the pattern like everybody else. And I would tell you, I was just blessed to serve, and I just want to continue to serve the American people, and especially the people here in Northwest Georgia.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up right there in Southwest Georgia, Blakely, Georgia, a little small town, just like where I live here in Rockmart, Georgia. But Blakely is we're known for two things: peanuts and football. And still today, my family still owns a farm there. I still go home and help my brother pick peanuts during the peanut season. Just did that all through my military career. So when people say to me, Shawn, you seem like you're very comfortable being a cattle farmer. That's all I've done all my life. So it was a perfect setting for me after getting out of the military to come back home. My wife is from Seattle, Washington, so she wanted the mountains. So that's why we came to Northwest Georgia. So you ever come to my farm, it's not one flat spot on this farm.
Oh, really? I will come to your farm because I don't like flat spots, and I do like farms. I grew up in upstate New York, on and around farms a lot. Did you, when you were little, your family had a working farm?
Yes, 100% working farm. We raised cattle, peanuts, soybeans, cotton, the whole 9 yards. And still today, that farm is still up and running. My older brother runs it, but I go down during the picking season and actually help him out.
What was that like? Like growing up, was it a mixed race community? Was it a lot of diversity? You said football and farming. What was the ethnic diversity like in that part of Georgia? I'm so ignorant about the South. The only place I have spent some time in is Georgia, but the only place really in Georgia I've spent time is in and around Atlanta. So we have these preconceptions and about it. We quickly get to race and we quickly get to segregation and the history and so on there. But what was your community like growing up? What was your child? How old are you?
I'm 59 right now. I'm still a youngster. I'm still a young guy.
Yeah.
My community was diverse, but when I say diverse, was diverse when it comes to the South at that particular time, black and white, but everybody loved hanging out together.
Really?
Yes, it was things before I was born and all those kind of things. They still were there in the shadows, but the reality of it is my little hometown, everybody has always kind of been together. Football and sports has definitely pulled the community together. We know how to win. We know how to get to Atlanta and go to the Dome. And we know how to put kids into college playing football. So that breaks down a lot of different barriers. And then the other thing that's significant about my town is that, Georgia's number one industry is agriculture. The number one industry in my hometown is agriculture. And with that being said, Everybody lived on a farm. Even if you lived in town, you still came out and worked on a farm.
That's crazy and interesting and fascinating. Everything you just said, I want to unpack for hours. But did you play football?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I played as a cornerback, and then I also played linebacker. So you know, I was good, but I was being realistic. You know, it was a lot of the kids a lot bigger than me. I'm a pretty big guy, but when you start talking about Florida State, Alabama, and Georgia, those are a lot bigger than me. So the Marine Corps called my name.
Okay, so let's unpack that weird time in your life, or because like how big are you? How tall are you?
I'm actually 5'9". No, I take that back. 5'11". What I'm talking about, 5'9".
You're 5'11", and you did you not get recruited to play college football?
Some smaller colleges looked at me, but nothing that was going to be earth shattering.
Right.
I've always been realistic and said, okay, what is your dream? How can you get there? And for me, my ultimate dream was just to be able to take care of my family, be able to be a respectable adult, and the military was a great path for me. And oh, by the way, I got to let you know, 12 guys from my high school from the football team actually joined the United States Marine Corps with me. So, so when I went off to Parris Island, I didn't just go off by myself. Hell, half of my damn class went off the class.
That's wild that there was that many guys in your basic training Parris Island class. I've read a bit about Parris Island. I've seen some movies. What did your family think about you joining the military? It must have been in the early 83, 84 something?
84 time frame, yes. And you know, my family supported it. To be truth in lending, my sister didn't. My sister did not want me to go in the military. And I said, you know, it's going to be okay. But then after 40 years of being in the military and I put on that star, my sister said, you know what, Shawn, I think you made the right decision. The military thing did work out.
Became a general. Even lower ranks were not impressive enough. Damn, she is tough. What is you got to be a how many star?
I was a 1-star general, and I was up for my 2nd star, but it was time to come home and spend time with the family, spend time with the grandkids, and you got to know when to get out of the game.
Couldn't you talk for a long time about the ambition in the military to move up in rank and what that requires? My understanding is that it's a lot of politics. It's a lot of people got to like you. It's not as always about merit. It's like, does this person toe the line, and do enough people like them? And because you got to get all kinds of recommendations. And so how do you become, just that one question, how do you become a general in the United States Army? What do you have to go through?
Well, the reality of it is all those things that you just laid out there, you know, that's the myth that people actually think of is not true. The bottom line is you have to excel at every position that you're actually in. You have to earn your rank. And every time that you actually get promoted, prior to getting promoted, you have to go to a school and pass that particular school to actually be able to go to the next level. As you notice here on my shirt, it says leadership matters. And that's something that we say in the military all the time. We're not just going to promote you just to say you're a cool guy or a cool girl. We're going to promote you because you have the skill set to do the job. And that's what it's all about. So when you see these guys and ladies get into the very high rank, they are highly qualified. And not only are they qualified for that, usually senior leaders are looking at them saying, do they have the potential to even go higher? And that's what it's all about. It's the same thing on the enlisted rank, same thing on the officer rank. But at the end of the day, you as the individual have to be able to prove yourself. You have to be able to make sure not only that your senior leaders look at you and think you highly of you, but the most important part is, what does your peers think? And ultimately, what does the soldiers or the Marines or whoever that you lead think about you? Because all those people get a chop on your evaluation. And that's how it should be. It's not just your bosses above you. It's everybody that you're actually in the food chain with.
If you say so. I have no idea about any of that, but to get to be that high of a rank, obviously it's quite a journey. What was your job? What was the brigadier general. Did you have a brigade under your command? Is that what that means? A brigade is
no. When I became a brigadier general, when I was a colonel, I was a brigade commander. But when I became a brigadier general, pulling the 1-star, the assignments that I had after that, I was the chief of staff in Kosovo. After leaving Kosovo, I came back to DC and did some things we shouldn't be talking about. And then from there, I actually went to Israel and became the senior defense official. And that is what you call an attaché. So I was the senior military official inside of the embassy that represented the military side when it came to anything that we was doing with Israel. So, and then further other assignments school that took me back to what you would call the regular force. But the reality of it is, when you're a senior leader, you pretty much kind of like a CEO, but you're still doing all the military stuff. So that's in this type setting, that's probably the best way to describe it. But the reality of it is, you know, all those things I want to convey to your audience, all those things is not all about me. It's also about the great team that I had around me, not only when I was a brigadier general, when I was a colonel, when I was a lieutenant colonel, when I was a major, when I was a captain, and when I was a first lieutenant, and when I was a second lieutenant. So I'm a type leader that always talk about the team versus me, because anything that we do in the military is done with a team, a unit, or a large organization.
I appreciate that, and you keep reverting back to it, but I want to know about you, so I'm going to keep asking about you. And just quickly, you said we can't talk about the time what you did in DC. So it was some kind of classified job that you can't even discuss. What?
When I was in DC, I actually went through some training to prepare me for future assignments. So that, you know, just to give me a skill set, and those skill sets that I learned in DC will help me when I actually go to Congress, because in a top secret setting, I won't be surprised. And that what makes me different. Because as you know, Marjorie, several times when she went into a top secret thing, she came back and put it all on Twitter and every damn where else. So it's just basic things of knowing what to talk about and what not to talk about in a particular setting.
All I want to talk about is the things that you're not allowed to talk about. You know, that's just my motivation. Immediately, I'm like, wait, what did you do? What can't? All right, so I could talk about that and keep asking you things that you could talk about, but I want to try to move it along. And there are two issues. Obviously, you can speak to, well, a lot of issues. You can speak to all the issues that matter for the constituents of Georgia's 14th district. And everybody should go to ShawnForGeorgia.com if you're watching live, or if you're listening on the podcast, and consider a donation. He's the only Democrat running, and Democrats are going to win every year and make a lot of surprises. So even though this district is heavily, very, very red, like plus 15 or something like that, so much has changed, and you can explain how you see that. But two issues I got to ask you about based on your time in the military and your life in agriculture and farming. First, in the military, what do you make of these targeted assassinations? You understand exactly how this works. You understand exactly how there's always a legal attaché or advisor to every military leader, every commander in every region of the country at every level. I don't think I need any of that military or legal expertise to know that shit is illegal. You cannot, I don't think they even know the names of the people on these boats, much less what they have on those boats. And the idea that you would kill somebody who is shipwrecked, I believe that's against the law in every country's rules, much less the international rules. What do you make just of those targeted assassinations that they are calling drug cartel leaders? When, in fact, by the way, finally, moving drugs is something that the Navy and Coast Guard has been dealing with forever. Interdiction. You stop them, you arrest them, you confiscate the drugs, and so on. It's police work. What do you make of those actions and the fact that there are many military leaders that are actually carrying them out?
Yeah, you know, you said a lot there, so let me unpack it. First of all, I talked about this a few weeks ago on, I think it was on CNN or somebody's show. They had me on talking about it, and what I said there, and I still say here today, is we need to make sure that we follow international law. And right now, it's where I sit, it looks as if we're not following international law. And what I also said, and I still stand by today, is our Secretary of Defense, Pete, is well over his skis. He is not prepared to do the job of Secretary of Defense or Secretary of War, whatever he wants to call himself, because right now we are passing out orders that are actually illegal. And But we need to give time for this investigation to come through and see what actually happened. But I believe it's going to be a lot of senior leaders and others that are probably going to have to answer some very hard questions and lose their careers in behind some of these particular events that have actually happened. As you notice, that shot that you was talking about was one of the first ones. Since then, the procedures have been changed. So somebody decided to listen to the lawyers and say, maybe we need to do something a little bit different.
Why do you think what makes you think the procedures have been changed? Just because you're talking about this kind of infamous incident that we all heard about. They bragged about it. The double shot. The guys were swimming. They had nothing, and they killed them.
Right.
What makes, they're still blowing up boats? How is it
still blowing up boats? But now, if somebody's hanging on the side of a boat, they're actually going and picking them up and then taking them back to their home country or locking them up. The one of the key things I want to make sure that everybody understands that normally the Coast Guard does this mission. And the Coast Guard is the only branch of service that actually carries a badge like they're a cop, so that they can actually arrest these people and do a full-blown investigation.
I didn't realize they had that kind of law enforcement. Yeah, well, of course. So the other thing about Pete Hegseth is you retired as a one-star brigadier general. You worked your way all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that whether you are a veteran football player or financial analyst in a firm or leader of the military, if some new guy, young guy, who does not deserve to be your boss becomes your boss, ego entails you to react to that. Now, maybe you're trained not to, and you're a modest guy, and you seem like you probably are. I know I wouldn't. If it were me, and I was a senior leader in an organization, and some douchebag came in and started yelling at me in that way and talking to me that way, I would slap him silly. I would quit. I would put him down. I would have no ability to control myself. How do you think, and what maybe you've heard that your friends and colleagues in the military are responding to this guy who, yes, he served in the military, but his fellow military members did not like him. They asked him to leave, as a matter of fact, because he was such an extremist. He's out there telling guys like you, guys who have achieved what you've achieved, guys who have done a whole lot more in their lives than you, guys who have been never accused of wrongdoing the way he has,
right.
Who have never supported war criminals the way he has. Remember, he supported a notorious war criminal. How do you respond to this guy telling you what to do and telling you how to behave? Oh, and by the way, erasing anybody who looked like you from the history of the military. If there was a black accomplishment in the military, they're literally erasing that in museums, at cemeteries like Arlington. And now I just read at a cemetery in Europe, I think in the Netherlands. How do you feel about all that?
Well, I tell you, as a senior leader, and now I'm retired, but still as a senior leader, part of our job, part of our training.
Someone in the chat, I'm sorry, interrupting. A friend in the chat said, Pete, that's why you're not in the armed forces. Okay, Kim, exactly. But I'm just still saying.
Yeah. But as a senior leader, our job is to work with anybody that comes into those particular seats and to actually try to support them. Yes, all the yelling and all those kind of things. At the end of the day, everybody that I still know in the military are 100% professionals. They're going to make sure that they try to make him successful. I think even you pull it away from the military and just take it out into the civilian world. All of us have had bosses that have been challenging. Okay. And as the greater team of the organization, you try to work your best to try to help that individual be successful. Now, in Pete's case, I think as we move here into the new year starting tomorrow, I think President Trump is going to get to a point and say, okay, Pete, this was a great experiment. You need to go, because the world is not a nice place, and we don't need to have somebody who's not prepared for the job. I would tell you, Pete, let me tell you this real quick. You're right. I made it to the rank of brigadier general, but I'm still not qualified to run the Pentagon and everything that we're actually doing. That's at my rank. I will tell you point blank, Shawn Harris does not have the skill set to step into that particular chair. And the current Secretary of War or Secretary of Defense, whatever he wants to call himself, is several ranks below me. That's why he's talking about somebody doing PT or running and staying in shape, because that's at the level that he's at. He's not at a level of a senior officer,
Well,
what we're focused on.
there are way worse things about him. You're being very kind, I think, and I would imagine that's your probably partly who you are and partly strategic because you want to stay above while also being obviously clearly critical. But I mean, let's be clear. You and I both know that there's an epidemic of sexual assault in the military. You and I both know that it has been something that's been talked about. It's been something that all the important committees in the Senate and House have tried to improve upon, have failed in many ways. Pete Hegseth has been accused of credibly assaulting lots of women. He's also gotten rid of leading women in the military, as you know. I believe the highest ranking admiral in the Navy that was a female, a bit of her, and others, and special forces. I believe there's another notorious one, and I'm sure there's ones up and down. The fact that this guy, who's been credibly accused of assaulting women, is in charge of a major bureaucracy organization, the Department of Defense, where that is an epidemic. To me, that is what disqualifies him. That alone disqualifies him, not even just, I don't know if you want to respond to any of that, but the gender stuff, and you didn't mention anything about the race stuff, the fact that he's erasing the accomplishments of American heroes who happen to be black.
I would tell you, Pete has a very sketchy past. But the president of the United States picked him. And I lay that at President Trump's decision-making process. I put that 100% on him. I'm not going to say whatever's going on with President Trump. But what I will say is I think as time go on, people are going to look at what's currently going on in the military, and they're going to say, okay, enough is enough, and going to pull back. And when I say pull back, I'm not going to say anybody's going to revolt or any of those kind of things. Yeah. However, I do believe the erasing of history is going to be reversed as soon as he gets out of there. And like I said, I don't see Pete making it to the end of President Trump's this term. I see him leaving here this year or next year in 2026.
I can see a future American presidential candidate running as a Democrat, whoever it might be, partly running on a campaign when it comes to military of, fixing and renaming and repairing all of the damage that he's done along gender and race, getting rid of trans people in the military, like people who happen to be trans but also happen to be geniuses, doing really hard jobs that we've spent millions of dollars training them for, and then kicking them out or encouraging. It's certainly not and never been a great place for gay people, but certainly not now. I could see,
but let me just touch one more thing because I really didn't touch it. When it comes to sexual assault, we got a lot of work to do in the military. And that's just like now inside the district, I give everybody my phone number. I tell them all the time. The reason why I give you my number is because as a senior leader in the military through all the ranks, I would tell my team or tell my organization, if somebody touches you inappropriately, I want you to call me. You don't have to be trying to work your way through all the stops and then somebody else think it's not important. I'm the commander. You call me. Don't call me every day. I'm not your buddy. But if something's going wrong and going stupid, you call that number. I'm going to answer the phone and we're going to get it fixed. So on the sexual assault thing, we got to get that fixed. On the history of black folk, hell, we've been catching hell for a long time. That's okay. But when it comes to our women and others, men also that are being sexually assaulted in the military, that's not good. Pete got to get it fixed. We got to get it fixed. So I just wanted to make sure that I touched on that in this interview because people that know me know that I'm very passionate about that when I was in the military, but I'm still passionate about it outside of the military because what happens to us in the military breeds into what we need help when it comes to the VA. And that's the side of the coin I'm on now.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to call you every day.
Okay.
And just for no reason. Hey, Shawn, what are you doing? You'll be like,
and I'm going to answer the phone and say, I'm outside feeding the cows.
Well, that helps me segue. Let's just talk a little bit about agriculture and what's happened to America's farmers, because the trade war has sold out America's farmers again. Like we could have predicted this. It really grates me, and I don't have a lot of compassion for farmers who voted for Trump again, knowing that he sold them out the first time. We're now giving them welfare. We're giving them a handout, if you will, because the trade war sold out markets for a number of different farmers, soybeans, which you apparently are into. And now they don't have somebody to sell their soybeans to. And I think that those farmers would rather sell the crop that they worked hard to grow and to harvest, but they can't. And so now we're giving them money to make up for it. It is, how bad is it? What do you hear from other farmers? Where do you lay the blame on all that?
Well, I tell you, the blame on this is right at President Trump. President Trump is the one who put these tariffs in place. He put them in place last time. They didn't work, and he put them in place this time. At the end of the day, I actually just had breakfast this morning with several farmers. We were talking about cattle, but it's saying it could be the same conversation. We have a conversation about where are we going to be able to sell our product. And when it comes to our soybean farmers, right now, China is not buying our soybeans. The farmers are in the hurt locker. And the reality of it is, if we don't help our farmers out, the question is, rural America will fall completely apart. Like I told you earlier, Pete, the number one industry here in Georgia is agriculture. The number one industry in the United States is agriculture. And the number one industry in many of our small towns is agriculture. So if we allow this agriculture piece to just completely fall apart, our country will actually crumble. So where I stand is, I want to help our farmers 100% because, hell, I am a farmer. But when I talk about that, that's talking about getting that farm bill actually done. And when I say getting the farm bill done, I want to take a little time and unpack that for you. One, right now, the farm bill is still based on 2018. It's designed that when we have hurricanes, tornadoes, whatever, it's supposed to help the farmer get back on their feet. The other piece that most people don't realize is that 60% of the money that's actually in the farm bill is actually for SNAP. That SNAP is for our seniors and less fortunate children. And guess what? We found out when the government shut down that SNAP was cut off. So I want to make sure that that farm bill is done, because here in this district in Northwest Georgia is 141,000 people that are dependent on SNAP. The rest of that farm bill is the farmers that I see every day. So when it comes to are they getting a buyout or not, I would tell you most of the farmers that I know don't want the check, but they want to make sure that they actually have somewhere that they can sell their product and get a fair price. And just right now, President Trump, he owns it. He has actually went in and messed up the market. And China, I can speak on China from a military point of view. I can speak from China on an economic point of view. China's playing the long ball, and China knows as long as they go very slow on buying our product, it will hurt rural America. And rural America, yes, you're right, voted for Donald Trump. But I think rural America is starting to figure out that these policies that Donald Trump and others are putting out there in Marjorie are not working for them, and it's actually hurting us across the board. So that's what I'll say about our farmers.
Just quickly, you said you raise peanuts. You still harvest them yourself?
Yes. My brother actually runs the farm down there. What I do on a daily basis up here, I raise beef cattle. So I'm the guy who makes sure that you get your steaks. I'm the guy who makes sure you get your hamburger and all those kind of things. So that's what I do on my personal farm.
Yeah. I mean, you say that, but I've never received any steaks from you. But that would be corrupt. Also, we don't want that. Real quick on the peanuts. I love peanuts and I love beef. I'll admit to it. I love peanuts. I always have them in my house. They grow on a bush, a tree?
On a bush. Yeah, it grows on a bush that's actually in the ground, and then you have a machine that flips them up. A couple of days later, after they dry, you come through and pick them. Now, those peanuts that you're talking about could very well end up being the peanuts that you have in your house, or it could very well be turned into like peanut oil and stuff that restaurants and things use to cook different
well, the peanuts I have say Harris Farm on them, so maybe they're your brothers. I'm not.
maybe I doubt it. He's not that big.
My peanuts have your face on them, smiling with the thumbs up and a logo for your campaign. It's really impressive.
That'd be impressive.
Let me just ask you this, though, one more thing about farming, which is, what do you make of the immigration issue? And I don't know how many undocumented people work on farms in Georgia, but I do know I grew up in upstate New York. There are not a lot of brown people, Hispanic people, Latino people living in and around Syracuse or central New York. But disproportionately on farms, they make up a huge amount of the staff on dairy farms, especially where I grew up.
Yeah.
And my understanding is they can't do their work. The farm can't work without the employment of these undocumented people. The federal government has always looked the other way and been okay with it. Republicans, Democrats, whatever. How true is it in Georgia or anywhere else that the undocumented, that the staff is heavily undocumented people, and they, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would tell you, I don't want to say it's people undocumented. Most of the people that you see working on the farms here in Georgia are come through, I think it's called the H-1-2 program. Don't quote me on my letters. Mm-hmm. But the problem that we're running into is after they get here and working, ICE is being so aggressive that those individuals now are saying, I'm scared to come to the United States and actually work on your farm. Sure. Or they get here and the farm says you need to go down the road 5 miles to the other farm and work there. They scared to get on the road because they're scared they're going to get snatched up and put into the system. So right now, currently what just happened in our district yesterday in Dalton, Georgia, ICE was up there stopping people in traffic, and they actually arrested 19 people. Now, I don't know whether those people documented or not, but the reality of it is it gets back to what you're talking about. When you have people working on your farm, they are nervous to go out and do the work. The work is not done around the farmhouse. Some farms could be 2,000 and 3,000 acres big. So hence you need help. And I will tell you, it is very hard to get very good help that's going to come to work every day on the farm, because as you know, farm work is not easy.
I don't know that. I guess I would imagine it is.
Well, when you come down to visit, I'll give you a whole day down here on the farm.
I would never do that work because I imagine it's very, very hard. Yeah. And I can't think of a job on a farm that I would be able. It sounds like whenever people criticize like public school teachers or farmers, I always want to be like, walk a day, bro. Walk a day in their shoes and clean some shit and pick some crops and get back to me. You won't last a day, you fragile little snowflake. And I'm talking to myself. I mean, like I went and volunteered at my daughter's school. And I was there for 15 minutes, Shawn, before I wanted to murder a child. Murder. 15 minutes. Kid wouldn't shut up. There's no way I could do that job. There's no way I could work on a farm either, because I'm soft. I'm as soft as they come along those lines.
I would tell you, Pete, I just give you a prime example this morning. You and I were talking roughly about noon today. So before coming on your show, I actually had to feed up and do all the stuff. It is cold, very cold in Georgia this morning. It's cow manure is everywhere. So what I'm saying to you is this: when you're a farmer, when you're a teacher, when you're a nurse, when you're all these kind of jobs, you have to love it to do it. I mean,
you love cattle ranching. You love that.
I love it.
I love it. Well, let me ask you about that then too, real quick, which is the price of beef. What is this whole thing about? Because my understanding is that beef farmers are making out right now, but consumers are losing. And I'm sure it's not that binary, but talk to me about the prices of beef right now.
It's two different things. The price of beef for the farmer, for me, the reason why prices of beef are actually high is because the amount of cattle across the entire United States is the lowest it has ever been in the last 50 years. So it's a supply and demand thing. Okay. That's on my end. And we actually producing very good beef, and the consumer like yourself and others love the product given to you. Now, when you go to the grocery stores, the farmers like me, we have no control of what happens at the grocery store. That is 4 processing plants that's here in the United States. 2 or 3 of them are actually owned by foreign countries. They actually dictate the price of that steak or the price of that hamburger that's actually in there. So that's why the farmers got so ticked off when the president said that he was going to give $40 billion to Argentina and then turn back around and let Argentina bring beef in here to bring down the beef prices, because the two things are not the same. So and the reality of it is the people love beef. They were willing to pay for it. And if they don't pay for it, then they'll go and buy chicken and all those kind of things.
I feel like I have such a hard time with farmers who own and run their farms who vote for Trump, because if you own and run your farm, you are an independent business person. You really understand the industry that you're in. You might be second or third generation, you might not be. But either way, you understand the supply and demand, you understand markets, and most importantly, you understand animals and how to raise them and sell them and so on.
Mm-hmm.
How could you be someone like, I understand how things work, politics work. Obviously, you're animated by this issue or that issue,
Right.
and you support, in this case, Republican, and you think they're best for you. But like, I gotta imagine, as a result of what you just said about Trump and Republicans bringing beef in from a foreign country to throw off that supply issue, that even the most rock rib Republican MAGA farmer who raises beef, at least, much less other crops, would be like, oh, this is messed up. Is that what you're hearing? Do you talk to those people? Do you know them?
I talk to them every day. Every day. Matter of fact, after I get off the phone with you, I'm going to hang out with a couple of them here this afternoon because I got to help a farmer on his farm. And that is one of the things I think your audience should understand is down here on the farm, everybody may have on different T-shirts, a blue one or a red one. But then when people need help on their farm, because it's so hard to get people to come help us on the farm, we all go and help each other. So I get a chance to listen to this conversation every day of how can you wear a blue shirt or how can you wear a red shirt and vote for Donald Trump or all these kind of things. So many people right now are just ingrained in politics as if it was a Georgia versus Alabama football game. They just stick with their jersey, regardless of how bad that jersey is hurting them. So right now, what's currently going on, farmers, at least in our area, are saying, you know what, I got to look at something different. And that's why what I call Ronald Reagan Republicans are actually supporting me and actually voting for me. And I believe what this election is said and done, you're going to see where I got Democrats, independents, and Ronald Reagan Republicans that switched over. And when I say it switched over, they're not going to switch over and say, okay, I'm a Democrat. They're going to give me a chance to see, can I actually get things done? Because right now, under Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump, they things have not been working out too well. And the number one thing that most farmers are concerned about is losing their farm. They don't want to be the last person that used to own the farm and lost it, because across the board, corporate America is coming here trying to buy up all the farmland and start planting houses versus anything else.
When you talk to them, here you are, a Democrat, a cattle rancher on their farm, helping them with their cattle. They can't possibly vote against you. They know you personally. They know, like, is that the case? Are you turning?
That is the case. You have to break through those barriers. When people get a chance to know you as the person, then that's when you start breaking through all that stuff you hear on the news. And every farmer that knows me personally throughout this district knows that I am the only person in the race that get up every day and actually live their lives. It's something for somebody else to say, yeah, I'm from Northwest Georgia. But if you've never been a farmer, you never grew up on a farm, it is very hard for you to say that you're going to be passionate about getting these things done. Because guess what? You either know it or you don't. And you can always tell somebody that's stepping around manure versus stepping right in it. And I step right in the damn manure, and we're going to get it fixed.
I love it. I love it. So just from the chat, there's a couple people in here, clearly MAGA people. And like, tell them
I said hi.
Shawn says hi, go support him in Georgia. But I don't mind if people come in and during the live chat or I've always hosted live show. I love debating and arguing and learning why people think what they do. If they say ridiculous things and they're conspiracy theorists, I'll get rid of them. But a couple of comments have been made that seem to in the chat that seem to insinuate, I have no idea about any of this, that somehow Democrats under Democratic leadership, farmers have had to, quote, cull more of their herds, whether it be poultry or cattle, as a result of disease. And the only thing I can imagine and extrapolate, and you'll explain this to us right now, is that Democrats, when they're in leadership, probably are more likely to enforce regulation around health issues around environmental issues that make farmers' jobs harder or more expensive. The consumer, however, I'm guessing, would rather not have a chicken that has bird flu necessarily, although I don't think you can pass it on necessarily. More importantly, explain to me what the difference is between Democratic and Republican leadership, if there is, when it comes to the health department's inspections and culling herds as a result of bird flu or hoof and mouth or whatever the hell cattle get.
Yeah. You know, both administrations, Democrat and Republicans, always are taking the health of the American people in consideration. Right now, the Trump administration is dealing with a bird flu issue, number one. And we're having to curl a lot of chickens right now throughout the United States. On top of that, the reason why beef is not coming in from Mexico is because they have a mouth hoof situation. So until they get that fixed down there, the Trump administration is working with Mexico and others to make sure that doesn't get up here into our particular herd. So guess what? The individuals that are saying that, they just talking. They got some talking points from somewhere, but don't realize that this is the front line of keeping them and their family safe.
I have heard, though, Brooke Rollins, who's the current Secretary of Agriculture, and I think RFK too, maybe not, basically say there's an alternative to culling. And I didn't think that was a political thing. I thought that, like, do farmers protest against having to slaughter their herds? You can't have, I would imagine that if one chicken is diseased or one cow is diseased, you have to sprout. This is about virology. This is about the spreading of a virus. You can't allow your entire investment, your entire farm, every animal, every head of cattle, every chicken to be sick and die because you lose all your money. I would imagine it's an economic issue, not a moral issue. It's an economic issue.
100% of you're exactly right. When I go from my house and go to my neighbor's farm, we are trained as farmers through the Cattlemen Association that when I go on his farm and go see his cows, I have to wash my boots off because I don't want to bring any type disease or any type thing from my farm to his farm, vice versa. That's what we're doing on the ground. So all this stuff that you're talking about is nothing new to the farmer on the ground. This is what we do on a daily basis. It's just people hearing it and they think that it's something crazy. No, at the end of the day, we are here to feed America. But in order for us to feed America, if we got to kill off 1 million chickens, or we have to end up killing off 1,000 or 200,000 head of cattle, you're going to feel that when it comes to the grocery store because of supply and demand. And that's really what we're talking about here. Now, Secretary Rollins has put out a whole lot of stuff in the last couple of days. What I will tell you from a farmer point of view, it sounds good, but we hadn't seen anything out of those results. So if you would talk to farmers, they'll say, yeah, I went and filled out the paperwork, but nobody's sent me a check or nobody's did anything. And oh, by the way, on the farm, certain things got to be planted at a particular time. Certain things got to be picked at a certain time. All of those things. And if these farmers don't actually get the aid that they were supposed to be promised, guess what? The bank is not going to give them any more money and they're going to be going bankrupt.
I could talk to you forever. I would like to talk to you again. I enjoy talking to you. I feel like you're someone who is very unique, at least in my life, to talk to because there's most of your life is something I could learn and benefit from. And I'm sure that's true of a lot of other people as well. And I really appreciate getting to know you. And I'm real excited for your run. A lot of people probably don't think you can win in this district where there are so many Republican voters. How are you going to win?
Well, I tell you, the way I'm going to win is simple. Is one, I talk to everybody across the board, Democrats, independents, and Republicans in every zip code. So I go places that others, even Republicans, don't go because they say it's not enough votes there. The other piece is this, is I'm the only guy that can say, yes, I'm a Democrat. However, I'm not married to the Democratic Party. I'm in the leadership business. I'm always going to vote for what's best for rural America, what's best for right here in Northwest Georgia, period. I guarantee if you talk to my 17, 18 Republicans that I'm running against, every last one of them cats will say Trump first. Soon as you damn say Trump first, guess what you just said? that means that the people here in Northwest Georgia is not first. You're going to do what's best for Trump and his administration. Guess what? Most of those policies that Trump puts out is best for New York City, Atlanta, Georgia, LA. They're not what's best for all our little small farm towns here in Northwest Georgia. And that is why I'm going to win this thing, because people are starting to realize that what Margie was doing up there did not benefit us, because everything that happens here in Northwest Georgia is kitchen table issues. Period.
I mean, I think that's true everywhere, though. I don't like you saying that kitchen table issues are what people care. Like, they care about kitchen table issues in every single high rise in every single city. In
100%.
Don't act like you own kitchen table issues, Mike.
Well, Pete, you got to keep in mind, I only got 10 counties, so I have to stay laser focused on my 10 counties.
And like
inside my 10 counties, I only got one town that probably has 100,000 people. Most of the places are 30,000.
The elitism I find in rural folks like yourself, thinking they are the only ones who have kitchen table. We have kitchen tables in the city.
I know. I used to live in the city. It was pretty good. It was a nice high rise.
Do you have last question? Do you have a moral or religious philosophy or influence, anything that you live by? I ask this a lot of people who are smart, people who are leaders like yourself, military people, business people, anybody who's had a lot of success in their life, who's overcome a lot of in their life. I don't know what you've overcome. But I mean, like, is there any kind of like driving moral philosophy for you, or principle or anything that you live your life by?
Yeah, I'm a Christian, and I'm always thinking about, how would Jesus do this? How would he treat people? And that's why in some of our discussion, even in this discussion, I didn't go super negative, super mean,
right.
Somebody, because that's not me. At the end of the day, I'm a person that says, how can I reach across the aisle and get things done? I don't have to agree with you. I don't even have to like you. But at the end of the day, when it comes to Northwest Georgia, I got to set all that aside and say, okay, how do I do what's best for here? And based on my faith, what makes me be able to walk through those barriers and actually get it done. So when people try to pull me into different things, I don't let it rattle me at all. I stay laser focused on what's the ultimate goal for the people I'm trying to represent.
I love that. Even though I think Jesus would flip over a kitchen table if
he had to flip over a couple of them. Yeah, that's no problem. Sometimes you have to do that to get people attention.
You're one of those guys too. It's like a military guy, is like a big guy, but you never get violent because you don't have to. Because your presence is like what?
Sometime being calm, being respectful,
yeah,
is more intimidating than yelling and screaming.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what that's like because I'm a little guy. Because we're just like in the cartoons when I was always that little dog barking and next to the big dog. That was me barking. But I was always friends with the big dog. That's
there you go. There you go.
I always make friends with us. So you know exactly who I am because I'm the guy who cozied up to you your whole life. Like, hey, Shawn.
You're the guy but before we go in, I say to you, hey, relax. It's gonna be okay, man. Come on now. Drink your tea.
You might even pat my head a little bit.
It's gonna be okay. All right. We got to make it through dinner.
Shawn, it is great talking to you. Get to know you. ShawnForGeorgia.com. Everybody, let's do it again, okay?
No doubt. Thank you very much, brother.
Hit that red X on the bottom because I'm going to take on these trolls right now, and I don't want you to have anything. I don't want you to see it. I don't want you to know me this way. I don't want this to be affiliated with you at all. Thank you, Shawn.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
There he goes. All right. Now let's do this. Okay. I love it when you guys show up. I love it when these people show up. Get out of here, Shawn. Okay, he's gone. Mike Anderson, you're dumb as a box of stones. God damn, are you stupid? I hope you're still there, Mike. I'll give you the link. I'll put the link. I'm going to do this every time now. Here's the link. You can join me on camera if you're not too much of a coward. And once you join me, the tone will change. And I'll be nothing but nice until you lose respect. And no one's going to join me. But just specifically, Mike, you're probably 20. You probably haven't seen anything about life. That's my assumption. When people come in and they say certain things, I assume they're a young man who hasn't lived any part of life, who has very little at stake, probably some things went wrong for you. You're probably pretty lonely and are looking for connection, which is why you're here. But I also think that you're really, just based on your comments, stone cold stupid, real dumb, real dumb. Mike says, the problem is we're overpopulated and you just want to bring more immigrants in. Why do you think that would be my question? Then he writes, what's stupider? We bring in Jews and Muslims that want to kill us. We should leave their ass over there and let them fight it out. I'm not even going to talk about how racist that is because you won't care. It's just so stupid. It's so dumb to think that we're bringing people that it's so stupid to think that, to believe the idea that people come here to commit violence. You have to be very dumb to believe that. But you would have to be even dumber to say the next thing that Mike says. I don't have a problem with Mexicans because they share our values and they assimilate. First of all, nobody shares your stupid value. You're stupid. You're a stupid person. As far as I can tell, you're a real fucking dummy. You're invited to show up here. I just put the link in the chat. You should see it. Assimilate to what? Who decides? To what? And you think Mexicans are less of a threat than Muslims or Jews? First of all, none of them are nearly as much of a threat as you are. People like you, Mike, who I'm guessing are a white guy, are way more of a threat than, quote, Muslims and Jews and Mexicans. But if you wanted to be technical and you wanted to say in terms of how many immigrants that identify as Muslim or Jewish, which is a religion, versus Mexican, which is an ethnicity, are violent, it would be Mexicans. There are way more Mexicans and they commit more violence, but it's still not nearly as many as domestic-born Mike Andersons like you. You are the most violent. White American citizens who are men are by far way more threatening. And if you cared about like a threat matrix, if you ever had any kind of data and you wanted to worry about who the greatest threat would be, first of all, it'll always be someone like you. It'll always be someone in your neighborhood, someone in your community that is far more of a threat. And by the way, if you want to protect your kids, it's not strangers. It's someone you know. I promise you that. Like statistics bear this out. Mike Anderson, they're coming here to take over our country. It's tribalism. There's 3 tribes in this world. If you don't see it, you're stupid. No, you're the dumbest person. You must be like 20. I love that you're here because it's an example of how stupid people can be. The fact when stupid people come into a room and call smart, interested, educated, engaged people stupid, the audacity of that alone is entertaining. It's not so, like, it doesn't really make me mad anymore because I've matured to know that you're just a fucking dummy and you deserve compassion and you deserve some kind of treatment that can help you. But you live on the internet and in conspiracy land and think that, you know, whatever you think, but you're too afraid to say it to my face. And that's the big tell. You go on like a chat on a random YouTube channel such as mine. I'm glad to have you here. Thanks for the numbers and the engagement. And you write those things, but you won't actually say them. You can't back them up at all. You're just probably cutting and pasting from some other dum-dum. But Mike, I'll give you, one more chance. I think you might have been here before. I feel like I recognize that handle. I put that in the chat one more time. Unfortunately, we don't have hundreds of thousands of people here, but full-grown white boy who will never be a man care about their people openly and unapologetically. I don't know what that means. I don't have my people. I'm not tribal. I don't think more about people like me. I care about all people. I think that might be one of the stark differences between people who lean more liberal and people who lean more conservative. Like somehow you think that you have people that are like you, if they share your religion, if they share the color of your skin, your sexual identity. Like I don't care what color you are, your sexual identity, or your ideology. Like, we're all humans, human rights. We all get them. I might fucking hate you, but I think that you should be able to live in the same world that I live in. I mean, let's see what else we have. Who commits 52% of the murders, but only 13% of the population? You sound stupid claiming white men are the biggest threat. Black people are a threat to black people. They aren't a threat to white people. White people are a threat to white people. You're fucking dumb. That you didn't know that says how stupid you are, Kent Blake. And by the way, the violence in the black community, nothing has done more to bring down violence in the black community, which is almost entirely because of poverty and racism, to keep them there, to keep them in check, to keep them from progressing. Almost nothing has done more to bring down violence in the black community than what's called violence interrupters. They have them now in every city in the country. And guess what? Republicans defund them. If you actually cared about violence, but you don't care about, because you don't care about black people at all. If you say something like that, you don't care at all. And you're dumb. Also, you're super dumb. You like all these people, all these guys in the chat that are afraid of people who aren't them. They're so dumb, they can't protect themselves, because if they did, they would be thinking about the most likely threat. And the most likely threat to you, Kent, is another person just like you, Kent. The most likely threat, if you had kids, to your kids is definitely another person just like you. The people who are most threatening to white people are other white people. And if you didn't know that, you're fucking dumb. And your entire influence is because of anecdotes, things that you've heard in the media, things that you've seen on the news. Maybe you lived it in your own life. Maybe a person of color killed someone that you know. Well, guess what? Someone the same color killed a lot more people. And if you don't know this, it's because you don't care, or if you did care, you don't care about reading objective information. These things are studied over and over and over again, and you would have to be stupid. Why do you hate everyone who looks like you, white boy? Okay, another unbelievably you must have a mental, this guy, Francois Normand, or whatever you fucking say. I don't know what happened to you, but I'm guessing, again, you're 19 and you live at home and you haven't lived your life. I'm guessing you don't know. You're obviously white, but you don't know anybody outside of white people. And unlike me, you only have people who are friends who are like you. I have tons of white people, hundreds, lots of white people in my life who I love and respect and adore. I invite them on my show and into my life. So that's just dumb. I don't hate everyone who looks like, I would hate everybody who, I do hate a lot of bald white guys who look. So maybe there is some truth to that. I think bald and white is a creepy look. I do. So if they look specifically like me, I'm like, ooh, it looks like a little bit creepy. I wouldn't leave my kids with a bald white guy. It's just a creepy look because you could see the whole skull. Let's see. That's what my conservative parents can never understand, is that I care more about people than just one particular group. Yeah, I mean, humans. That's every religion. Every religion preaches this. Every God. It's you can't be actually authentically religious or have any moral clarity if you are a person who only cares about people like them. Black people are tribal Muslims, or tribal Indians are tribal. Okay, you're gone. Not because I'm offended, because you're too stupid. Like, we can't have you here. You're gone. That's that Francois guy. Rage baiter. I'm a rage baiter? I'm responding to people in the chat. The white guilt guy. No guilt. The fact that you guys haven't figured this one out too is hilarious. Listen to those people who think that I or other people are suffering from, quote, white guilt. I'm guessing you've never heard this. I have no guilt at all about my whiteness. I have no guilt at all, especially because the vessel that I'm in is so perfect and gorgeous. I guess I feel guilty about how my genetics are superior than most of yours, but not because of my whiteness. Not at all. I just am a student of history, and I understand how society works and how culture works and how laws work. So, as a white person, I believe I have been given more privilege and opportunities than people of color and then by all women. You might not believe that, but that's because you're dumb and ignorant. I believe that. Also, if you're a white poor person and you feel like you didn't have any opportunity and no one helped you, that's a lie. And even if you really believe that, you still have a better opportunity than black folks who were born into better economic situations than you were. I mean, there's tremendous amount of data, research study after research study, that black folks with college degrees still don't have as much opportunity, still don't make as much money per capita as white people without them. So it's not guilt. It's the idea of opening the door and helping other people achieve the things that I have been given. It's not guilt. And if you think it's guilt, it's like these are the same people who say, oh, they're teaching my white kids to feel bad about themselves at school because they're teaching them the history of America. Fuck you. You're a shitty parent. You're a shitty parent is what you are. If you can't explain what I just explained to your white kids, it's because you're a shit parent and you shouldn't have kids. I would think your kids should be taken away from you. Tribalism. Mike Anderson back says tribalism. Mike, why don't you join the chat? Why don't you join me here? You might think life is nice and sweet, but there are people in the dark that want to destroy each other. Yeah, you're the guy. You want to destroy people, Mike. It's you. You're in the dark. Turn on the light. Read a book. Meet someone that's not like you. Not one Muslim country would allow your gay lifestyle. True. Religious people are against homosexuality. Here's the other stupid thing people that make that argument don't understand. Muslim people don't run America. I don't know if you knew that. Christian people run America. The Supreme Court is run by Christian nationalists. The Congress is run by Christian nationalists. Every branch of the federal government is run by Christian nationalists who are advocating for an extremist Christian idea and ideology that is anti-gay. So I'm not as concerned about the fundamentalist religious people in other countries and the way that they treat their people as I am the fundamentalist religious people in my country and how they treat us. I don't identify as gay, but after a few Rolling Rocks and the right offer, I don't know. I'm a few Rolling Rocks from a cock. Bald white guys do suck. Yeah, I agree, Rachel. Most black people feel like I do, and they are Catholic. Mike, you don't know any black people. I guarantee you don't know any black people. Bobbington, I'm a white bald guy. Ouch. Sorry, man. You should join my meetings. They're on Fridays. A lot of solidarity. You're a radical left-wing, emasculated, and deranged. Your cognitive dissonance is astounding. I'm radical left-wing. I am radical left-wing, emasculated, and deranged. Well, I don't know how you define emasculated, but like it's always projection. You're emasculated. You're worried. I'm not worried about being emasculated. I don't care about that at all. Imagine what it would feel like to not have that be a thing you care about. There's enough concerns in the world, enough stress of the idea that you care about your masculinity and being emasculated says everything about you. It says that you are an insecure person. I think that's the difference. The fact that I could joke about it, my sexuality, the fact that I don't care what you think about my sexuality or my masculinity shows how masculine I am. It shows how straight I am. Like the fact that you can't do that shows how insecure you are. In the end, if we really wanted to measure to the guy who thinks I'm not masculine, I guarantee I'm more, quote, masculine than you by any standard. By any standard. I just don't need to signal it. Because I don't care what you think. Go on, join me right now. We'll have a masculinity off. I'll put the link one more time because I'm so lonely and bored now. Link is in the chat. I dare one of you fucking trolls to just jump in here. Jump in. Show your face. You're not even masculine to show your face. I mean, how weak are you betas? Nothing but cucks. Put a mask on if you're worried. I don't know. Disguise it. Just come on in here. I just put the chat in there. Let's go. Most black people feel like they're Catholic. What are you talking? I read that one again. It makes no sense. If your loyalty ate 100% America, go home. I don't know what you're talking about. He's against stereotyping, but is stereotyping whites. I'm not really against stereotyping. But how am I stereotyping whites? I'm being very specific. Very specific. I get treated like crap. Everyone else out in the world do the competencies of others. It's up to you to do better. I have kids. They're great. I know what that means. Jews don't even allow anybody else to become a Jew. Yeah, they do. I don't know how to tell you about it. They don't. The difference between Jews and Christians is they don't. Some fundamentalists, you don't know this because you're stupid and ignorant and you don't know any Jews. Some fundamentalist Jews absolutely recruit and proselytize and door knock and all the fucking nonsense, but they just don't do that. You can 1000% convert to Judaism today, join a synagogue, become a member of the Jewish community. 1000%, anywhere you want. But they just don't harass you with it the way fucking annoying Christians do. Christians, many Christians, not so much Catholics, but a lot of Christians, evangelical Christians, Mormons, whatever they fucking, obviously the classic is Jehovah's Witnesses. They go knock on your door. They try badly to save you and to convert you. Jews don't do that, but you can absolutely become Jewish, but you didn't know that because you're so dumb. How long have you been a delusional liberal cunt? My whole life. But I grew up in a very conservative area with a lot of conservative family members. So, yes. Read their instruction manual, the Quran, the Hadiths. The most threatening people are the white people, you say. You are probably right. Look at Tim Walz. Look at John Brennan. What? Oh, boy, you really lost, Jason. If you want to look at the religious books, read the Bible, bro. I don't know if there's anything more violent than that, you stupid fuck. None of you will join me. Just lonely people, lonely trolls. I love this. More and more people join, the longer I fucking take you dummies on. Mike Anderson, answer one question, Mike. Why won't you join me? It's obvious you are gay. Ken, if you say that, 1,000% I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. I would never. This is the other thing about right-wing MAGA, conspiracy theorists, white dudes. Their insult of me every time I'm on TV, anywhere I go, is you're gay. Here's the difference. I would never think to say that to another guy unless I thought he was closeted and using it as protection, which I always think about. So I'm positive, Kent, that you are. I would imagine, I'm not positive because you're just a troll, but anybody who says that has latent homosexual, I don't know why I pronounce it that way, homosexual tendencies. And that's what you have. You are in the closet and scared that you might be gay, which is why you would think, because the other thing is, if you're comfortable with your sexuality, and I am heterosexual, and I've only been with women. And I was about to say more women than any of you have, but that would be so fucking gross and sexist. But if I were speaking your language, I know it would bother you. So I'm positive I have been with more women than you have. And if you've been with any women at all, if you've ever had a girlfriend, much less sex, which I'm guessing a lot of you guys have not had sex, you're incels, and you think the world is against you. And women don't like you because of you, actually. It's you. It's you who say that other men are gay. That's your thing. You're gay. Or you've never been with a woman. Because I'm so secure in my sexuality that anybody can call me gay, and it would never bother me because it is not an insult to me. It's not wrong or bad to be gay. And it certainly isn't less than. I'm not less of a man if I'm with other men. If you think that, you are probably the one who's actually gay. If you don't have any gay people in your life, any good friends who are gay, it's because you're afraid that they're going to make you gay because you're so insecure about your own sexuality. So Kent, I think it's obvious that you're gay. Hey, how about show some positivity? I mean, I just did an interview for like 40 minutes with Shawn Harris for Congress, and the vast majority of my work is pretty positive. So you just joined here, and I'm taking on these dumb people, Chuck. So it's just me taking on dumb trolls and their dumb arguments. The MAGA right wing have an incredibly low IQ. Well, yeah. I mean, and EQ. Like, there's no emotional intelligence at all, it would seem. And I don't think people like MAGA people necessarily or right wing Republicans are stupid, because I think they're really probably smart at the things that they care about, like any number of issues that they're experts on, that their work is in. Maybe they know how to rebuild an engine. Maybe they are really good with money. There's all kinds of ways to measure intelligence. It's just their critical thinking, your ability to think critically, your lack of interest in education and opening your mind is obvious. So it's just a psychological thing more than anything else. Your ability to be rolled by idiots and conspiracy theorists who are just grifters. Oh, Brett, I give up. I'm deleting my comments and moving to another channel. Move to a channel where the host of the channel invites you on here. I've asked this question 3 times. People are just talking about Jesus stuff. I guess Jesus doesn't answer questions. I don't know what you're saying. I must have missed it. But I'm inviting people on. There's 137 people watching in my count. You don't see them because you're only on one platform. I'm on across several platforms. I come from a mixed family. You are full of shit. Fuck you. No one believes that you come from a mixed family, Glenn. And what the mixture is probably like a Protestant and a Methodist. That's how mixed your family is. Jesus hates you. Anybody who says Jesus hates you doesn't know anything about Jesus. Jesus doesn't hate anyone. Glenn, did you not know that? I don't even believe in Jesus, and I'm positive he didn't hate anyone. He didn't have hate in his heart. He preached against that. You dumb fuck. If your mother was not born a Jew, you cannot become a Jew. Yes, you can, Mike. You need to talk to a rabbi. You can absolutely convert to Judaism. Go to a synagogue and ask them if you can. The fact that you have no curiosity or courage is not my fault. Oh, and no courage to join me here. All right, no one's going to join me. No one wants to talk. No one wants to show up. Barbara knows it's not true. She's Jewish. You can convert to gay. Jesus came to divide? What is this? But see, your logic, if people dislike gay people, they're probably gay. Well, talking shit about conservatives, does that mean you secretly wish you were conservative? Well, that logic is stupid. When I say people dislike gay people, they're probably gay. No, I'm not saying they dislike gay people. I'm saying when they're calling me gay as if it's an insult. You didn't say, I'm saying he's gay. If you think it's an insult to be gay, what's wrong with you? Let's see. Trolls are chicken shit. Click on the link. You aren't born gay. You become gay. Okay. I don't care if you're born gay or if you become gay. I don't care that you're gay. If you still think being gay matters, I don't know what year you live in. You should meet some gay people. Some of the best people in my life are gay people. That was a question. Keep up the good work, my friend. Whatever you gay people do, keep doing it. It's not hurting anyone. These people that hate you are the ones that hate brown and black people. It's homophobic to be gay, but not come out. Okay. If you're homophobic, I think it's because you're gay. That's what I do think. I do think that. I think that if you have issues with gay people, that you probably are, the issues you have are with yourself. I don't know that that's always true, but I think it's often and commonly true. And you probably don't know any gay people very well, other than like somebody you knew a little bit at work or in school or something. But maybe you don't have a relative or someone that cares about you that also happens to be sexually attracted to people of their same gender. But the fact that people are still focused on sexual identity is real sad in 2025. given how many other issues actually affect your life. You don't care about corruption, but you care about sexual identity. Bizarre to me. It's a bizarre set of priorities that you don't care about the price of things if you're self-interested more than, sexual identity. All right. Well, no one wants to show up. I put the link in there, and it's a bunch of cowards. Just nothing but cowards here. Okay, one more time. Link is in the chat. Do you see it? It's there. Mike Anderson, you're the worst. Mike Anderson, you are the biggest coward today. Because you were here last time and you keep chatting, but you won't click on the link. And you won't answer why you won't click on the link. Yeah. The trolls claiming to be real men. Click on the link and let's hear it. Yeah, of course. Click on the link. If you're a real man, if you're a tough guy, if you have the courage of your convictions, click on that link and show up, Mike. Or the next time you chat, if it's not addressing my answer or my invitation, then I'm deleting you forever. And I'm preparing that now. Ban user and delete their comments. Mike, I know you don't care. Yep. Come on, Mike. Last time, going once, Mike Anderson. The biggest cuck, the biggest loser. No one believes you're a master carpenter. Actually, if you come on right now, I'll only talk to you about carpentry to show you that I could be impressed if you were a master. I'm fascinated by carpentry. I suck at it. That's what I mean about intelligence. Like if you are actually a master carpenter, he's really smart about building things with wood and probably metal. But he's real dumb about other things because he's not that interested and he doesn't really care about them. So yeah, we need to get a cuck trophy for you, Mike. Because right now you're the cuck of the year, the coward of the year, the master baiter. That's you. Mike Anderson, going once. Oh, it'd be awesome if he showed up. Going twice. That's it. Cuck of the year, Mike Anderson. Does one become gay or are they born that way? I think they're probably born that way, but I think some people become gay. I think psychology used to believe that you're born that way. It's genetic. I think a lot of people are. But I think leaving open the possibility that there's a social contagion or that there's a preference is fine, because that would be fine if no one's getting hurt. If it's sexual aberration or is it deviancy, it's somewhere off the norm, is bad and hurting people, like you're attracted to children, well, that's bad. We need to do something about that. We need to treat them like humans, though. People who are attracted to children sexually are still human. I don't dehumanize anybody. Everybody's, I think, human. I don't believe in all that nonsense. But they're evil. We're all God's children. If you believe in God, we're all God. He made us all. I don't believe in God, not that way. I'm a Buddhist, if anything. As a straight lady, we are definitely born this way. Exactly. Who would choose men? Exactly. Thank you, Rachel. I don't want to talk to you. You're going to ask some fucking gay ass questions. How about this? And your gay ass audience, no matter what is going on, you won't say there's no win for me. Well, why are you chatting then? Why are you saying things in the chat? You are talking to me. I don't want to talk to you. You are talking to me, Mike. Come on. Let's just talk about carpentry. I'll tell you about my failures. I'll humanize you. And then once I've built trust, then I'll ask you questions. I won't even argue with you. I won't call you names. I'll ask you questions. You can tell me how you feel. I've done this so many times. I've even become friends with a couple of people who I turned that way, because we have to humanize each other. But you're just a troll right now commenting. So maybe you can help me fix the windshield wiper fluid dispenser on my Chevy Volt. Oh, you probably think that I'm gay because I have an electric hybrid. That's probably gay too. That, to me, is one of the best things about, I would say, MAGA people. It's entirely MAGA people on the right, whatever, these people that talk about masculinity and, alpha this and beta that and sheep and wolves and all that shit. You guys that think, anybody who thinks that a vehicle has some representation of your gender identity or your femininity and masculinity, you guys are the worst. You definitely are the worst people. People that like act like gay, that EVs are somehow gay. Not only are you like dumb, you don't even realize how much faster they are than gas-powered cars. Like if we measured masculinity by how fast your car would go, the Tesla beats the Corvette C8. And I love the Corvette C8. And I hate the Tesla. But I do like data. And EVs are way more manly. Don't let me guess. Everyone's dumb but you. I'm dumb about it. A ton of, bro. Yeah, no, I'm real dumb. I'm very ignorant on a lot of things. Just not on the things I've been talking about. I name a million things I'm dumb about. I have an associate's degree in humanities. You're very judgy. What's your problem? It's about torque, dork. I'm taking on trolls. Definitely judgy. I'm also trying to be interesting, engaging, and entertaining. But I guarantee if you think I'm judgy, you love some fucking right-wing losers. Jews and Muslims are smarter than only thing they want from you is your voice. They vote. They hate your gay ass. Mike Anderson again. You're done. Bye. I can't. He's out. He's a pussy. I don't call people pussies because I think pussy means strength. But again, I'll speak your language if I need to. I mean, I don't call people a pussy to say they're weak because pussies give birth to babies. And that means they're strong. I measure strength by how much pain you can take. And I think women can take more pain than men, as influenced by childbirth and the flu. All right. You make lots of money with the Pete Dominic speed. You could make lots of money with the Pete Dominic speed bag. That's funny, actually. Put my face on a speed bag and people hate me so much that they would buy it and sell it. I would do that. Will you pay for it? Would you at least add a K to my name, Glenn? Prick. It's about torque, dork. Yeah, electric engines torque the car faster, dummy. Haven't heard a single intelligent thing yet. What is this live about? How are you better than others? I guarantee I'm better than you. And if I'm not, then click on the link. You're all cowards. Click on the link. I'll prove to you that I'm smarter than you. W4DZ0 nobody 0 cuck beta. Click on the link. Join me. I'll debate anything with you. Anything. Even the thing that you know more about than I do, which is probably plenty of things, I probably still, because you probably aren't able to articulate yourself, which is what I do better. I should get that Shawn Harris thing out of here. I don't want to involve him in any of this. Shawn Harris. Click on the link. Come on. Babowski. None of these punks will debate you. Come on, boys. Your mom calling you for lunch. Yeah, how come you guys are all such cowards? Such cowards. Click on the link. Click it. Click on the link and I'll bring you in. And we'll see how smart you are. I interview smart people for a living. I've done it for 15 years. I picked up a little bit of what I've learned from them, but it's enough to debate trolls. But my job is to find smart people and interview them. That's what I do. But lately what I've been doing is I do the interview and then I just stay here with the trolls that show up. But everybody's a cuck, coward, sheep. Cucky, coward, beta cuck. Probably most of them would let Trump have sex with their mothers or wives, because I don't think most of them have ever been with a woman. So, but they were born of a woman. They're mostly men. They're mostly lonely. They're scared. They don't have friends. They don't have connection. And they turn to the internet and they come here on a channel like mine because they feel like if they could be anonymous and say things and call names, it gives you a little bit of self-esteem. I guess it gets you a dopamine hit, which is, I wish the best for you. But if you had any strength, if you weren't a huge coward, you'd show up here. This man is a deceiver. Wait, who is this? Gina. Gina, join me. Join me. This man is a deceiver. God's words are truthful. We all sin. But when we learn the truth, we should learn to sin no more. That's not true. That's not true. I don't know. I'm not do you think that? What religion says we should learn to sin no more? No religion thinks that you're going to learn to sin no more. No religion thinks that. We're always going to sin according to the religions. You don't stop sinning. You try, but you don't stop, Gina. You're a deceiver. You're probably even a man. You're probably not Gina. That's how much of a deceiver are. You're not even under. Oh, please, someone join me. Educate me about your religion. That you even, yeah. How do you consider yourself a religious person and not understand your own religion at all? How is that? That's another question I have for you, quote unquote, religious people. I used to be a Bible thumper. I know how messed up evangelicals are. Yeah, I didn't used to be a Bible thumper, but I grew up with a lot of them in my family, in my community, and I've been, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, all right. 30 seconds and I'm out of here. Unless one of these people shows up. A Mike Seaver. That's hilarious, Aaron. Kirk Cameron. I fucking loved that show, Growing Pains. And I loved Mike Seaver's character. And I like totally identified with him as a wise ass and a class clown and a troublemaker and all those things. But a good hearted person at heart, And then he became Kirk Cameron. His whole family are really, really divisive. But they try to come off as not being awful. All right, 10 seconds. Thanks, guys, for joining me. Happy New Year to my friends and to my haters. Thanks for joining the live stream. Maybe at some point we'll get big enough to have someone who's big enough to join me. Leftists hate America. Nope, nobody hates America more than MAGA. You fucking hate America so much that you side with America's enemies, overwhelmingly, Russia and China. That's how much you hate America. You might as well be Russian. You probably think Russia likes us. All right, guys. Love y'all. MAGA hates America the most. There's no doubt about it. And the last thing I saw was Candace Cameron got hot. You're the worst. All right, bye. Happy New Year, everybody.